Hi there, we are looking at taxation in this series. We are watching All Access and you're watching MoneyWise, and we are looking at residential rental income tax today on this video. So I want you to pay attention, because if you have any rental property, you don't have to pay 30% tax on your income. And it is important for you to understand. I have with me an amazing tax consultant. His name is Robert Waruiru. He is Director for Tax and Regulatory at KPMG here in Kenya. And he is willing to just come and spend time with us and just help us understand what, you know, the different aspects of taxation that affect each and every one of us every day. So Robert, let's just get straight into it. There was this new, I think it was 2016, the government basically said, you know what, we are going to make it easier for people who own properties, residential properties, to pay less tax, not have to think, okay, what is an allowable expense, which one is not, and they basically just said, you know what, you can pay 10% of the income that you earn. Were there any bans? Were there any rules? Were there minimums below which you don't pay? You can just help us understand that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. And perhaps before we answer that question, it's useful to understand why this law came into place in 2016. Now, for the longest time, there's been a lot of residential complexes coming up in this country. If you look at Nairobi with the housing deficit, a lot of rental houses up there. But if you look at the tax yield or tax collection from this rental income, it's abysmal. So Revenue Authority sat down and asked themselves, how can we encourage people to comply with and pay taxes on their income, on their rental income? And because rental income by and large has very little expenses, you know, people ended up paying tax at 30% of your rental income. And for a lot of people, you ask yourself, I can't save to build a rental house and then I pay 30% tax. What has government done for me? So what Revenue Authority and government did is that they introduced residential rental income tax at 10%. So now how this works is, if your residential rental income is less than 10 million a year, then you can apply to the commissioner or elect in writing to the commissioner to come under the residential rental income tax regime.
Less than 10 million a year? Less
than 10 million a year, rental income. And once you elect, then you're required to file your rental income by 20th of the following month. So your rental income is, say, 500,000 per month. 20th of the following month, you pay 50,000, which is 10% straight up. So it's an easier way to administer the rental income tax in this country. Now,
but if I'm earning 10 million a year, right? That's like almost 900,000 almost a month. Isn't it easier for me to deduct things like solar heater, now that it's a requirement, you know, all these other service charge, gate security, you know, all these different expenses, and then pay 30% on that? I don't know. I'm just wondering about the math.
And one has to do the math. I agree with you. One has to do the math. But one of the things that you'll realize is that a lot of those costs are then passed on to the tenants. So as a landlord, you're effectively earning your top line, because you know you've got service charge, you're billing people for garbage collection, for security and what have you. So you'll find that even if you deduct those expenses and then take 30% of the net number there, it's still higher than 10%.
Gotcha.
So if I was an investor and I have residential rental income tax, I certainly would go for the 10%.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're earning less than 144,000 shillings a year in rental income tax, then you don't pay anything.
Okay, so that's if you're earning 12,000 a month in rental income or below, it's tax-free.
Tax-free.
Okay.
Yeah, and the rationale there is that if you were to compute the tax on 144,000 annually and then take the personal relief, your tax liability is nil.
So the tax relief comes from where now?
So the personal tax relief, because you
can apply to your rental income.
Yes. So if you don't elect for the residential rental income tax and you want to pay 30% like a normal person, because if you don't elect for that, then you have to pay tax like a normal person.
You keep saying elect. So are you saying that today, if I build something and I want to pay 10%, I have to go to KRA to tell them
you have to inform Revenue Authority. If you don't elect, then the presumption is you're going to pay normal tax.
Are you kidding me?
You have to elect.
Elect how?
By writing to the commissioner, basically informing the commissioner. Mr. Commissioner or Bwana Commissioner, this is what I want to do with my
but
rental
let's
income
be,
tax.
I mean, seriously. So I've paid my tax, it's 10%. See, he can see I've elected by paying my 10%.
No, it's not enough. The commissioner needs you to inform him so that in the event that you default, then he knows who to come for.
Wow, okay. I'm even slouching. Well, okay, I get it. I've understood. I guess the law is just, it's a pain.
It's a pain.
It's a pain.
It's a pain. Tax is painful.
But we need to know and be aware so that we're not in trouble at the end of the day. This is Rina Hicks. If you have any questions, please do send me an email, sama@moneywise.co.ke, or WhatsApp message 0707 633 433, and we shall respond. Share these videos, subscribe, and let us know if there's any questions that you have that you want answered, and we shall go ahead and try and do our best to answer those questions. God bless you. Take care.